David, thank you very much. It is a pleasure to be here. Our agency works very closely with CATEE and with the Energy Lab at Texas A&M. So we're always delighted when we have an opportunity to do anything in partnership with them. Good morning to you. I'm here to welcome you on behalf of the 16-county region that our agency serves. It includes, of course, the 4 big counties of Dallas, Tarrant, Collin, and Denton, as well as 12 surrounding counties. There are presently today nearly 7 million people residing in those 16 counties. As we project out into the future, if we continue to grow as we have in the past, those 16 counties will contain, by 2035, estimated anywhere between 9 and 11 million people. Under any circumstances, we'll probably grow 3 more Dallases in that time period. Wonderful for the economy, a great place to live and work, but it has presented challenges and it will continue to do so. Transportation, water, electricity, air quality, just on and on are things that we must continue to deal with and probably maybe even double our efforts. I have with me today a colleague, our Director of Environment and Development, Edith Marvin, I think is back here. She is one of the prime movers within our agency looking at some of those issues along with our transportation department and some others. We have been actively involved in helping our member cities, our member governments, to work together looking at common codes for the past 40 years. What we find is that developers, builders, entrepreneurs love a set of common codes when you've got a region that has well over 200 cities in it, many of them very large cities. It provides them an opportunity not to have to explore new territory every time they go into one of our cities to try to develop. We are now working on the new energy code, and as we were talking about, it's got some problems just like anything new does. What we've done, though, is taken all the codes and said, what is it that we would put together as far as local amendments and try to get those as common, as practicable also, realizing each city may have some different needs and that type of thing. Through air quality, we've looked at white roofs and promoted them. We've looked at how do we try to clean the air through some of the things that David just mentioned as far as cleaning up vehicles, alternatively fueled vehicles, funding in part some of the cost of that, all in an effort to deal with a severe problem with ozone, one that we make great strides in, but when you add 1 million people every 10 years, you bring with that a lot of cars and trucks that have to service those folks. So we're always a little bit behind the curve, even though we're making great strides. The other thing that we're doing is looking at how can we work to be more efficient with the water that we have. We, in many parts of the region, are still blessed. Other parts of our region, there's a dearth of water. We are trying to build new lakes in the region, but we recognize that's not going to be the long-term answer. It will only be part of the answer. Conservation, more efficient use of that water will be very, very important. And again, we are working through and with our cities to try to determine how best that can be accomplished. We recognize that with water, you've got a direct tie back to the electricity situation, and that these two go hand in hand. I've had the privilege of serving on a statewide committee that past year under the energy efficiency program called SPEAR. We've got legislators from the past, we've got local elected officials, we've got the utility industry, we've got scientists, we've got businesses that are really trying to determine how do we work together to better use the electricity we have from an effectiveness standpoint, an efficiency standpoint, And really, ultimately, the goal is how do we shave the peak? How do we spread out the utilization of that which we have now? And it's kind of like a highway system that we have today. If we could just spread the cars out during a 24-hour period, we've got a surplus of lane miles. It's when we all try to use those lane miles at certain times of the day, and it's very much similar with electricity. I think, though, we got a better chance at electricity through some of the smart technology that's coming along with appliances and the things like that. So I just want you to know that our agency, through our member governments and working with them, supporting them, have a deep interest in what is trying to be accomplished here through this very conference. And we appreciate you so much for your interest, the efforts that you're making, the ideas that you bring forward. All of this is going to be so important as we look to the future. And I love that last slide because it truly is, what are we leaving for those who are going to be behind us? And for those of us who have grandkids, it really, really is important. I used to say, with some of the economy, some of the other challenges we have, well, I won't have to worry about it. It's my kids and grandkids. But as fast as things are moving, we may have a selfish interest in some of this also. And I think we really need to look at it from that standpoint and the imperative that we have to start making the movement. And even if we don't have to suffer some of the consequences of a lack of effort, we know that our kids will. So stay with it. You're appreciated, and you'll be supported every way that we possibly can. Are you going to?